Welcome to the Between Hoops podcast, where we discuss basketball, pop culture, and everything in between. I am your host, Colby Wood, joined with you by my co-host, Ryan McGaughey.
What's up? What's up? How you doing, man?
Doing good, brother. On this episode, we're just going to be telling y'all a little bit about ourselves and why we chose basketball, why basketball is a sport for us. And midway through the episode, we're going to talk about some of our NBA predictions that we had in October, probably a few weeks prior to the season started.
Yep.
We had some pretty bold predictions, I think.
Yeah,
Well, we were trying to be as accurate as possible, but you'll see we weren't accurate on every single pick. But we're going to talk about how those look now in comparison to early October. And at the end of the podcast, we're going to implement a draft. Every week we're going to do this draft, and the topic this week is going to be players we would like to see win their first NBA championship the most. So we're just going to go snake style. I got one pick. You got two picks. I got two picks. You know, back and forth. Yeah. And at the end of the draft, you can decide who has the best picks. But I just want to talk a little bit about why you chose basketball. Let's just start from the earliest memory you have of picking up the basketball and when your love for it really started.
Well, I feel like when you're a little kid, you know, if you play a sport, it's kind of hectic, little kids running around. I mean, you're kind of just there because your parents are making you. I mean, some kids might love it at the age of 7, but, you know, I don't know. My earliest memory would be, I don't know if you remember this, but in Jonesboro here, we had a league, and then you just play at all the different churches. It was called Upward.
Upward.
Yeah.
I actually did Upward.
Dude.
But I didn't really choose to do Upward. It was more of like you're doing Upward.
Mine was mixed. I wanted to, but then again, but I don't know. You know, you had little stars. Like if I had the green star, you had the green star. I'd guard you, stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. And then I played intramurals here at Brooklyn Elementary, in 2nd and 3rd grade, middle school. But I always liked baseball more. I was always playing baseball a lot more. I was better at it as a kid, and something switched there. I think it was 5th or 6th grade. I quit baseball to focus on basketball, and then from there on, it's the only sport I ever played. So, but I remember watching Colby and the Lakers play Garnett and Allen and all them in the NBA Finals at like age 8. So that's my earliest memories. But I don't know. Now it's part of our lives forever. So that's a good thing I discovered it. But
also, this is a thing we'll get into often, but we both went to Brooklyn, and basketball at Brooklyn is borderline like a cult. Like once you get started, you really don't leave it. Even when you have left it, you haven't really left it.
It's like the Holy Grail. Sense. It's like the Mecca at Brooklyn. Like it's just on.
It's hard to explain.
It is. It really is. But it's serious. It is.
So, for me, basketball wasn't always a thing in my life. Well, my dad had grown up playing up, and he wanted me to like it when I was younger, but I really wasn't into it when I was younger. I was more of an artsy guy. Like I said, I played Upward, but I was like, man, I wasn't any good. Double dribbling all around the court. So I was, you know, an artsy kid, but then I moved to Brooklyn in 5th grade, and kind of just my friends all played basketball. My neighbors played basketball, so I just ended up playing basketball.
Yep.
And like we just said, basketball at Brooklyn it's like the hottest sport there. So
it is. They're a basketball school for sure.
Definitely. And when I was at recess, I wasn't out playing tag or doing, on swing set. I wanted to get on the court and play, but also Ryan was like Dennis Rodman in 5th grade,
yeah,
6th grade,
bruiser.
You were that guy.
I was a little chubby kid too. Let's add that in there too.
Well,
it's not like I was no specimen athlete here. Come on now, I don't know.
I tried to worm my way into the court at recess, and didn't have a lot of luck because y'all had like y'all's little gang.
It was intense, dude.
It was. You go back to class drenched.
Man, what a time! What a time.
So I didn't have a lot of luck wiggling my way in there, but I basically earned my way. I played a lot with y'all in the driveway and, here and there. And actually, 5th grade, 6th grade, I wasn't on any team. I was going to y'all's games, watching y'all play because some of my best friends were on that team. Mm-hmm. So I actually started playing for real in 7th grade on the team. That was my first team. Good learning experience. I mean, it's just great. The structure of it all was good for me, and that was really just as far as basketball starting for me. That's where it started. We can talk all day about our basketball career in high school, but we have a lot of things to talk about today.
Maybe in a later episode we can.
I want to talk. I want to. This is something we're looking forward to maybe doing, but we'd like to interview our head basketball coach in high school. That would be amazing. Then we'll talk a little bit more about like the end, how it all ended, and things we've learned, man. Because we like I said, we can talk all day about why basketball, why we're here, why we're talking about it. It's such a big part of my life and your life. But I just want to talk about the show a little bit too while we're here, because I haven't even talked about why we're doing this. Well, the show itself is for my audio production 2 class for Arkansas State University. I'm a creative media production major with an emphasis on sports. But outside of that, I really want to do this podcast. I actually am really excited to talk hoops because I'm living with Ryan right now.
Yep.
And this is his house. We got a setup here in the kitchen. And this is something we talk about basketball anyway. So this is nothing new to us.
Just put on a mic and do it in front of a camera, and that's all it is, man.
So, but this show basically is something I want to do for a long period.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do this for a while, not just for credit. I'm actually really looking forward to it. We have some interviews that we're looking forward to doing, hopefully. Just a lot of cool topics. But my next question for you, why UNC? Why did you decide? I'm asking about your college team. I'm asking about your college team first, and then we'll get to the Lakers. You can hit on the Yankees a little bit if you want.
Okay. Even though this isn't baseball.
I'm mainly curious because UNC is your diehard team. Lakers, you love the Lakers, but that's not like your diehard team. UNC, why UNC?
And it was, okay, well, I'll answer both of those. It was kind of like roles were reversed there. It used to be diehard Lakers. Lakers is all I liked. I like the Yankees too. I'll get into that in a little bit. But, man, I sound like a bandwagon. I mean, every time I mention my sports teams, I sound like a bandwagon. But my dad liked my grandpa liked the Lakers in like the 70s. I'm not going to say he was a diehard fan, whatever. Dad liked them when Magic was playing, Showtime era. And we got ABC at the house as a kid, and I watched the Lakers games, and I kind of just followed the being a generational Lakers fan. But it was about, I'm going to say it was about 2010 or 11. I could be wrong with that. I don't really remember. I remember the team that Carolina had, but I'd never watched college basketball. And I went over to a friend's house of ours. His name's Harrison Pate, and his dad's from North Carolina. And shout out EH. And he's the man, by the way. But anyway, he's a diehard North Carolina Tar Heels basketball fan. It's just, I'd go over there and I would basically have to root for him. I mean, who are you going to root for when the game's on? They're rooting for Carolina. And ever since then, man, I don't know. It's just been, especially the last couple of years, like, I don't know. I hate to sound like a fair weather fan, but the Lakers have just, I don't know. And watching UNC's successes the past 6 years, 5 years is just really, really special to watch. So that's why I'm a fan of them. And then, like I mentioned earlier, although this isn't a baseball podcast, I am once again following this bandwagon trend. I'm a Yankees fan.
You've always been a Yankees fan, though, right?
Like, I mean, it's the same thing.
If you've liked them since childhood, then you can't really say it's a bandwagon. These are bandwagon teams, probably.
But if you have a reason,
if you've always liked the team, then I don't see the problem with it.
If you have a reason, you actually like them, not just I saw them the year they won the title. I don't know. I said, it's the same thing with the Lakers. My grandpa was a Yankees fan. My dad was a Yankees fan, and I don't know. He would.
It's just inherited.
It is, and
it's just.
It's like
passed down from your family. That's normal.
And I don't watch much football. I as soon as basketball's over, and this year college basketball, my team ain't gonna probably be in the tournament. But that's another topic for another time. But it's awesome to see the Yankees or just transition into it's baseball season. Let's go. Let's cheer on the Yankees. But yeah, man, those are my favorite teams, and I'm not the biggest football guy, but basketball is definitely my thing for sure. But
I wish I were you and I had 3 teams to root for. That way, if one of them sucked, I can be like, or if 2 of them sucked, I'm like, yeah, well, at least I can watch this team. Or like baseball, you love baseball too, so you have a whole season to look forward to. I'm really not that same way. I'm kind of just stuck on basketball.
It's like
and
in the summer.
I've only got one team. Don't worry, we'll get into that too. But
oh man,
definitely, I want to know before we get to me. I want to know a little bit about your North Carolina trip. Took this
North
summer.
Carolina trip. I thought you said drip. I was like, what?
Well, you got drip too.
Yeah, I mean Final Four shirt. Come on. I mean, let's not talk about it.
You've taken 2 trips.
So, it was. Let me get my dates right. It was February 2022. Never been to Chapel Hill, North Carolina, and it was towards the end of the season. Tar Heels really were better than they were this year, but still a little mediocre. Decided to take a trip, Chapel Hill, to watch them play the Syracuse Orange. Another prestigious program, of course, and our buddy Riley Newton went with us. He's a big Duke Blue Devil of the Dukies. We're good friends, which doesn't make sense, but whatever. No, it's a great experience to go and see. You got Chapel Hill, and then 7 miles down the road, you got Durham, where Duke's at, and it's just so crazy. But they ended up winning that game against Syracuse. Caleb Love hit some big shots down the stretch, and a week later we went to Duke and ended Coach K's career at Duke with a L. So and then it's probably January. It was at the beginning of the year. We went and watched 2 games. Me and my girlfriend Emma got to go watch 2 games, and they played the Wake Forest Demon Deacons and Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
You won both those games.
Won both games, but you know what? That seems like a long time ago now, because these past couple weeks as a fan have just been excruciating for me. I mean, really just, man, I don't know. But definitely if you can go someday, no matter if you're a fan of either one, go just to see how historic both of those towns and how close they are actually.
I can only imagine. I'm speaking from firsthand experience, but if you like a team and you go watch them play, you end up loving the team.
It's
like
awesome.
you leave that building just like, I don't know how to. That's just sports, though.
It is.
Like if you have even just a little bit of a liking to a team, and then you go watch them play, and you have a good experience, then you just leave loving the team, living, breathing the team. So. And that's where I want to segue into why I like the Memphis Grizzlies. Why the Memphis Grizzlies? You're going to hear a lot about the Memphis Grizzlies on this podcast. We're going to talk about every NBA team. We're going to talk about all the hottest news and updates. But considering Memphis is an hour down the road, and that's my favorite team,
I mean, why not like
we're
them?
going to be talking about them quite a bit. So for me, this is when I was first getting into basketball. Once again, 6th, 7th grade, I think 7th. Never been to an NBA game. Back in the grit and grind era when the Grizzlies had Mike Conley, Zebo, that core 4 group. My grandfather, his best friend, had free tickets, and they were playing the Timberwolves with Kevin Love and Andrew Wiggins when he was really young.
Yeah.
And I was like, cool, I want to go watch them play. And I was watching Kevin Love highlights the whole way. I'm like, I don't know. I didn't really – because Kevin Love was a big name at the time. So I was excited to go watch the Grizzlies. I didn't know nothing really. Like I didn't follow the NBA like that. And but I go to the game. We win the game. It was a fun experience. And I walked out of there just loving the Grizzlies. Mm-hmm. For some reason, that just, man, it's a fun experience. And the environment was just lit. So after that, man, I pretty much just got hooked. And ever since then, I've gone to so many games. I've filmed at games, taken pictures at games. My room is just like you walk in there. It's like the Grizzlies' den.
How many games have you been to, you think?
Over 20.
Over 20?
Maybe 25, 30.
I thought it'd be more than that.
Some seats closer than others, but I mean,
I
can't get picky. Right now, I really can't get picky because they're so good and the tickets are so high. I can't get picky. I just like to get in the arena. So, I mean, but man, them Grizzlies right now, they're so fun to watch.
Scary. It's scary for me.
True contenders. I mean, we still got, some more to learn because we're so young.
Yep.
But we're true. I can say for the first time, I really feel like we have a legitimate shot. I mean, not saying we're favorites, but we have a legitimate chance. Also, I have to mention.
I was just about. Are you going to mention the bet? Are you going to mention? Okay, yeah, go for it.
The year is 2000.
It's about 19. It was 19 or 20. It was our senior year.
December.
It was 19, so it'd be our senior year. Yeah.
John Morant had pretty much just gotten drafted.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing little flashes of his talent, and I'm thinking, man, we have like a mini Westbrook now. Like this guy,
really?
And I just had a hunch. I'm like, dude, Grizzlies are winning a championship.
I think we were at IHOP discussing this after like a football game or something.
Yeah,
something.
I
don't know.
We went to IHOP too much.
Oh yeah,
like too much. But man, I was like, dude, got a feeling. And this is also the homer in me coming out a little bit too, but also a little bit of like, realistically, yeah, we have a chance.
I mean,
but I was like, dude, we're winning it this decade. And then you're like, come on. Because at the time, we weren't, we were good. We were exciting. We had just traded away everybody. Like, Mike's gone. Mark's gone. We got John Morant, Jay Crowder, Jaren.
Just young.
Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I'm like, dude, I got a feeling we're going to win it this decade. And you're like, dude, no. So I was like, okay, let's put $1,000 on it. If we don't win it this decade.
From 2020 to
2029.
Yeah, to the 2029 season, yeah.
Then I owe you $1,000. And so I still got 6 years.
I mean, you got plenty of time.
I still got 6 years for them. They're going to be contending for 6 years.
That's why a while ago I said it's scary. They are a scary team if you're playing them, I'm sure, but it's scary for me because like I want to root for them, I really do. But at the same time, I'm kind of like
you don't want to. Yeah. Well, here's the thing.
I don't know, man.
Here's the thing. You're going to be paying for my housing since I'm living with him and I'm paying him rent. Just give me a couple months of free rent if I still live here.
Hey.
If it's not 2028 and I'm long gone, then, at that point you can cash at me.
Right, but until
then, man, just give me like a couple months free rent.
I could. Hey, if that's what the bet came to, I would want them to win it like pretty soon because you're gonna be moving.
If they win it this year, but man,
dude, the West is tough.
We're gonna get into that too.
Yeah. Let's save that.
We can get into that in a minute, but God.
But yeah, I'm glad we went over that. How we like all of our teams. I mean. You'll see it. It's apparent for sure that we all. Well, I mean, that's the bulk of what we'll discuss. I'm sure, and other stuff like Colby said. But
let's get into our predictions. Let's just do it.
Okay. Got the sheet right here.
So early October. I can't say. Maybe it was like September, late September.
I want to say it was.
It was a good bit before the season.
Well, because the season starts like October 20
weeks.
Something, don't it? Like 22nd or.
It's like a few weeks.
I'm just gonna grab this real quick.
Before the season started, we compiled a list of all 15 teams, East and West, where we thought they would be at the end of the season.
Braden got in on this too.
Braden got in on it.
Braden Half, if you're watching, I had to mention you. So
we're gonna ignore your picks, Braden.
Yeah, sorry, you don't matter this episode.
Your picks aren't really relevant right now. I love you though, buddy.
Yeah, I love you, man.
Well, we also picked MVPs, Coach of the Years,
Rookie of the Year, Most Improved, DPOY, and Sixth Man of the Year.
Yeah,
and
we have a point system too.
We did like we ripped up that sheet of paper. We did finals predictions at the start, but then Colby was like, we're
gonna wait till the playoffs.
And I'm glad we did because I think mine was like the Warriors and 76ers. Like, there's no way that's happening. I mean,
you never know.
The Warriors, man, I don't see it.
Warriors,
what do you want to do?
I'm never gonna count out the Warriors ever. If they're the 8th seed, I'm still not counting them out. They proved me wrong last year, dude. Yeah, that's a topic for another day, but don't ever sleep on the champs, man.
You want to read?
As bad as I hate to say that, that's like sour, really sour in my mouth, but God, they're good. I know that, and we can't beat them.
Let's read off your.
Let's go. Let's do the East,
and then
let's do the East. We're gonna do the standings first.
Okay.
Now here's a shocker. By the way, pull up the standings real quick so we can.
I got them right here, actually.
Okay, good.
I'll tell you.
We both have at 15 the Pacers.
And that was
a shock. The Pacers, a lot like the Kings, are a shocker this year. You didn't really expect them to put it together that.
They did start off hot, but they are the 12th seed.
They fell to 12th.
They are 25-33 at the moment. So, but
they are actually a competitive team. They're not trying to tank.
Yeah, they're
like a few of these other teams. So they could wiggle their way into the play-in.
Tyrese Halliburton got hurt there for a stretch of time too. So imagine, if he don't do that, you never know. They're a good team. They're a lot better than like we thought they would be for sure. But yeah. Read me off the East.
We both had the Pacers, and 14. I had the Hornets. You have the Wizards.
You want me to go along here and tell you who's actually in the?
Who's at 14 right now?
The Detroit Pistons, who are obviously to me, it's obvious. Them boys want Wembanyama bad. They are tanking. It's just.
I don't know. I had the Pistons.
There's no hope.
So I had the Hornets at 14. You had the Wizards.
Mm-hmm.
Any reason for having the Wizards that low?
I had the Wizards.
Yep. Because I feel as long as Bradley Beal is on your team, the Wizards are in a really gray area where they don't know, are we competitive? Are we selling? Are we buying?
I thought it was kind of like I guess I really don't remember why I did that looking back, but like they're ninth right now. They're in the play-in, but I really thought it was because, like you said, the gray area. Like,
it's a hard team. It's a hard team to gauge.
In my mind, they do have Porzingis, they have Beal, but then it's like, what else? I could have just seen them being like a really poor team. But I mean, I don't know.
At 13, by the way, my Hornets at 14. I don't really even need to explain that. I mean, Hornets, man, they're so bad. I'm sorry,
atrocious.
They're trash.
Actually, them and the Pistons have the same record, 15 and 43.
13. I had the Pistons. You had the Magic.
So we weren't off. The Magic is 13th at the moment.
We have the same group of teams here,
but just kind of flip flopped.
Now, 12. I had the Magic. You had the Hornets.
12 Magic.
Again, like I had Hornets at 14. You have them at 12. I have Magic at 12. You have Magic at 13. They're all still in the same ballpark.
I mean,
Magic is a good team though. What are they at right now?
They are 13th. I did predict that, right?
Yours are 13th, mine's 12th. Yeah,
but they got a lot of promise, dude. They really do. I mean,
I like them. I like Banchero.
Banchero, it's a dookie, but I do like watching him play.
He's kind of a beast.
Duke can play.
Magic. I like Orlando too. I just as a destination.
Oh yeah.
If I was an NBA player, I got drafted there. If the team sucks, that's one thing. But man, I'm in Orlando.
Yeah.
Like I love that place. I have the Wizards at 11. You had the Knicks.
Okay. I had the Knicks. See, and the Knicks are exceeding expectations.
The Knicks
I
are
feel
what,
like.
6th?
They're 7th. They're 31 and 27 at the moment.
I didn't expect Brunson to go there and make an immediate impact the way he did.
I still think he's overpaid, and they have no. If they get in the playoffs, so what? Like, they're not going to do anything. I don't think they will.
If they're the 7th, 8th seed, then no, they don't match up against the Celtics or Bucks.
I don't see it. I don't see it happening.
But I like the Knicks. They have that grit to them, that New York grit.
Josh Hart they just got
Josh Hart. They're going to be competitive. I don't know about contending, but they are competitive. I had the Wizards at 11 again. Is that where they are right now? 10th?
Wizards. No, 9th.
They're 9th.
Yeah.
Again, not too far off. Who knows where this is going to be in a few weeks, but we're just kind of checking in here.
Yeah.
We can go back over this in a few weeks and see where we actually were. But yeah, Wizards is just hard to.
They're still 26.
They're never going to this as currently constructed, they're not going to be a top 5. I know that.
No.
But it's just a matter of, are they going to be bottom of the at least in October it was a matter of, are they going to be tanking for Wembanyama, or are they going to be like a play-in team? I thought they were just below play-in, personally. At 10, I had the Knicks. You had the Pistons. You thought pretty highly of the Pistons.
I thought highly.
You had them at 9. You had them in the play-in. I had the Bulls.
Are you kidding me? Wow.
I mean, I'm not trashing that pick because
no.
Ivy and that crew. They looked good.
We had Braden sitting on our couch that night. He was probably talking him up, so that's probably why. I don't know. He yeah, but I guess I thought Ivy and I don't know all of them. But
they have a cool little squad. I mean, they're fun to watch. They're young. They're just young.
There's nothing. Yeah.
Bulls.
What are we at? 9th?
Yeah, I had the Bulls at 9. You had the Raptors.
So the Bulls at the moment are 11th in the.
Bulls are just under, their expectations.
They're missing Lonzo. They're missing. Wasn't Levine hurt for a little bit? Or?
He's back though. I mean, it's just their thing is their size down low and defense. I don't know what the deal is because they have talent.
They have Vucevic, don't they, down low? I mean, he's a good
offensive.
And then
player,
the Raptors,
rebounder, but
the Raptors are at 10th. So I was pretty close.
Raptors and Bulls are similar to me in that they could be better. Raptors are just completely falling apart.
Yeah, they really
their
are.
Their core is falling apart. Everybody was on the trading block, and they ended up not trading anybody at the trade deadline. So I don't know what they're doing in Toronto, to be honest with you.
We had them flop there.
We had them flip-flop. So I had Raptors at 8. You had the Bulls at 8. We had them flipped.
The Raptors at this.
Where are the Bulls again? Can you?
11th.
Where are the Raptors?
10th. So they're close. They're neck and neck.
See, they're still neck and neck. So we got that part.
One game difference between the two teams. So
I don't know if I'm a Raptors fan or a Bulls fan. I'm not as happy as a Rockets fan because at least if I'm the Rockets, I'm like, we suck. We know we suck. That's cool. We're going to get Scoot Henderson or Victor Wembanyama probably. But if you're a Bulls and Raptors fan, you're like, we're not good enough to be competitive. We're not bad enough to get a lottery pick.
Exactly. It's just kind of
that's awful. I feel bad for Wizards fans. That's how they felt since
Wizards
2013.
Do they exist? I mean, not around here. I mean,
they certainly do, but not.
Not
here in Jonesboro, Arkansas.
No.
I had the Hawks at 7. Oh, you also had the Hawks at 7.
That was
were they?
No, I was about to say that was bad. They're 8th. I mean, that's a good.
That's about where they.
That's about.
I mean, in relation to the competition above them, that's not any knock on them. The Hawks, I gave them the benefit of the doubt because they were in the Eastern Conference Finals 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
They've got talent. They've got Trae Young. They've got John Collins. They've got DeJounte Murray, which at the time we didn't know how he would look. So I'm like, I don't know how he's going to fit in.
I still have been underwhelmed a little bit by that pairing, the Murray and Young pairing. But
I personally,
I don't know. It's just
I like it, but you don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah, it's just
some nights. But right there in the middle is a good spot for the Hawks for me, which is where the Grizzlies were every year.
Yeah.
For me, growing up being a Grizzlies fan, so I know how that feels. But it's still a fun team.
Oh yeah.
Here's where we get to the fun teams. We had all the same top 6, but in different order.
Mm-hmm.
I had Nets at 6. You had the Cavs at 6, and also we could have never foreseen the Nets collapse the way it has been back in October.
Oh yeah.
The complete and utter collapse of Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving leaving.
As of right now, Brooklyn is 5th, Cleveland is 4th. So in terms of, I mean.
And who's to say that the Nets still can't be 6th? I mean, they very well could be. They've got good guys. I mean, they got great defense.
They're just,
really great defense. They got some good pieces back in that trade.
Got Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges. That was a good little.
I mean, Nets, as of now, I mean, I made this list thinking KD and Kyrie would still be there, but I know how wishy-washy they were even back then. So I still put them at 6. But now it's looking pretty good. Not even have known back then that they were going to trade KD and Kyrie.
Right.
Why did you have the Cavs at 6? I'm curious.
You had them at third. You had them third.
I had them at 3.
But see, I had them at 6. Well, let's look at the next two teams. We both predicted the Heat at 5. The Heat have just been. They're what are they? They're 6 right now. I say that like they're bad. They're 32-25, but
it's complicated for a team that was in the finals a few years ago.
They're one of those teams. They'll do good, and then they'll just mess around and not do anything in the playoffs.
They catch fire, and then they go on cold streaks.
I don't know. And you haven't heard much from them. It don't seem like. It seems like they're just kind of consistently
The Heat right now is kind of the Heat reminds me a lot of the Grizzlies, but in the East. They don't get the recognition they deserve. They play hard. They got a grit. They're not programmed, but their franchise is a tough franchise. Eric Spoelstra is a tough coach. They've got Jimmy Butler is a hard worker. I mean, from what I've heard, everybody on that roster is just tough guys, practice guys. And that reminds me of a lot of what the Grizzlies used to be and to a degree still are. So I admire that. I like the Heat.
I do.
I don't know. They're not. I wouldn't say they're contenders.
No. I don't see them doing anything in the playoffs.
They're still a fun team that could surprise you. So just keep an eye on the Heat.
Yeah.
But as far as the Cavs, for your Cavs at 6, you just probably didn't foresee how Donovan Mitchell would fit in.
No. Yeah. I guess I didn't. And then look at my 4th. It's the Nets. And what once again goes back to I thought KD and Kyrie would be killing it. So.
Yeah. You had the Nets at 4. I had the Celtics at 4. That ended up not being a good pick on my part. I don't know why I put the Celtics at 4. I just thought that the Cavs would explode, which they have. The Cavs would explode. The Bucks would rise to the top, which Bucks very well may be the 1 seed. But when it's all said and done, they are like a game and a half or whatever behind the Celtics. So
it's a game and a half, yeah. It's a game and a half.
Yeah. So you had Nets at 4. I had Celtics at 4. I should have bet on the champs. Like I should have known. You were just in the finals. You got everybody back. It's just a matter of sustaining that success. And actually, I think at the time of placing these or forming these picks, Ime Udoka had just got fired. So my thinking was, they're not going to have a good coach for the rest of the season. And it's going to take them a while to figure it out. They're going to have some rough patches. So I'm going to put them at 4. And I couldn't be more wrong. Yeah. I can't remember their new coach's name right now, but
I can see his face. I just can't name him.
He's come in and he has
he's done good. He's done
filled in the role. He's also a young coach. He's filled in the role well. And when you've got Jason Tatum on your team,
Jaylen Brown,
how hard can it be to adjust? But I really messed up that pick. I mean, unless they just collapse after All-Star break, I mean, they're going to stay top 2.
Yeah, for sure.
I had the Cavs at 3. You had the 76ers.
So I was right there. The Sixers are 3rd.
But isn't it 1 through 4 just clamped in there?
1 through 4 is separated by, let's say, 4.5 games. 1 through 4. So
see, that's still very fluid.
Yeah, fluid.
Very fluid, but that's bound to change. But really, I mean, we got solid picks.
The top 4, though, I mean, our top 4 are right, just different.
Different order. Well, did you have the Nets at 4?
I did have the Nets at 4. I'm sorry, yeah.
I had Celtics, Cavs, 76ers, Bucks.
So, yeah, my bad. I didn't have the Cavs. That's who I was missing out on.
And we'll get to the MVP stuff later, but I thought that this year would be Embiid's year to blow up. And he's been great. He's been great. Don't get me wrong, but I think James Harden being on that team takes a little bit of the spotlight away from Embiid. But I had a hunch that he would blow up, be MVP, and he's great. But there's some players that are even greater. This MVP race is stacked.
It is, for sure.
Now both at number 1, we had the Bucks.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm like, this is Giannis's year.
The Bucks
they're on a 10-game win streak currently.
Oh, really?
Yep.
A
quiet streak. You haven't really heard about it.
You haven't. They're on
a 10-game win streak.
That's weird.
I know. So again, Bucks is not a bad pick whatsoever.
No.
And my thinking too with the Bucks, they've got Giannis manning the ship, and he plays 100% every single game.
He does.
He's a regular season guy as well as a playoff guy. He doesn't take nights off. So I can never bet against a guy like that.
You got to respect
it.
You got to respect it.
We're going to move over to the West.
Let's move to the West.
Starting at the bottom, I had the Rockets. You had the Spurs. I think Rockets are bottom.
Rockets are bottom. Spurs are 14th. So, I mean, both of those are.
Okay. Really don't even need to hit on that. Both young teams.
Yeah, I mean.
Both aren't really trying to win. And why would they when you have a legitimate shot at a potentially superstar talent in Victor Wembanyama or Scoot? Scoot isn't just a consolation prize. Scoot could be very well could be a franchise player for.
And he could end up being better than Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah, you never know. You really never know. But both of those guys, I'd be happy to have.
I would too.
Victor Wembanyama can scare me, as far as injuries go. But
I had the Rockets at 14.
Yes, we at least knew that. The Rockets weren't competing this year.
Yeah, I mean,
I had the Thunder at 14.
They're currently sitting at the 10 spot.
I didn't think they'd be competitive. If they didn't have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, they wouldn't be competitive.
True.
But with him dropping 30 every single night, yeah, they're going to be 10. But I didn't see that coming. Congrats to Shai, by the way, getting his first All-Star appearance.
Right, yeah.
And by the way, I saw him play twice this year. Dude. He's like butter. I don't know how to explain it other than he's like butter on a frying pan. Just the way he's like sliding through the lane, man.
He's smooth.
He's fun to watch.
Yeah.
Also, another guy, 20-second timeout, Darius Garland, when I watched the Cavs play the Grizzlies.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. He is underrated. And he's one of those guys where you can't tell until you watch him play how quick. Just lightning quick movements, pump fakes, going left, right. Darius Garland just blew me away in that game. You can't tell how fast they are. just watching it on TV. But
he's for sure.
Man, he really shocked me. And I was watching from the terrace, but I could just tell. I'm like, dang, man. Dude is tough.
Dude's good. Dude is very good.
Let's take a 30-second timeout. Who is another guy like you've watched that just like struck you like you didn't expect them to be?
That I've seen in person.
Someone you saw in person, whether it be like their physical stature or like how they played, was just like not what you expected.
Okay, let me think.
It's been a while since you've been to a game.
Man, every year when Colby was playing with the Lakers, like 20.
You're just starstruck when you watch Colby.
I would say him, but and for sure, like you said, he's very amazing. I would say, I know he's not and even to this day, it's not like he's just like, oh my gosh, when you see him, it's just like, oh my gosh. Mm-hmm. He shows flashes at times. We took a trip out to Los Angeles, spring break 2019, and LeBron's first year on the Lakers, and D'Angelo Russell.
Oh yeah,
they were playing the Nets.
Oh,
and
I completely forgot you watched it at the crypto. Staples.
I still call it Staples.
I'm going to be accurate and just say crypto, but I'm with you.
And if the Lakers lost that game, they were out of postseason contention. So, but yeah, he was just killer, man. Nothing they could do to stop him. That was probably kind of the Lakers just weren't that good that year. But either way, that dude just really surprised me and really caught my eye for sure.
We're gonna go through the next few a little bit quicker since we took a break talking about players.
Name the next three.
Very, very necessary. I mean, like players.
Oh, for sure.
You got to go to a game, man. You just don't know till you're there and you just see these guys. I mean, that's a whole nother topic. But I mean, I had the Spurs at 13. You had the Jazz. Jazz have been a good story too. Jazz are like, well, I guess especially in the earlier in the season, they're like, oh well. We're good now, I guess.
Might as well play hard. I mean,
they threw in some random guys and it worked, and now they're like, "Well, we got to trade away a veteran because what are we really doing here? We're going to give Mike, we're going to send Mike to a somewhat of a contender." Mm-hmm. But you had Jazz at 13. I had Spurs, again, and the West is a little bit harder to predict.
It is, especially now.
They're just so competitive. But I had the Spurs. I had 12. I had the Blazers.
They're 12.
Are they?
Mm-hmm.
And you had the Thunder at 12.
Okay.
Again, not bad bets. Damian Lillard has had a great year.
Yes.
He needs pieces, man. He's never going to leave Portland, so at least, well, I won't say never, but at least give him good pieces. And they're trying, but it's just not working out.
I don't.
I had the Jazz at 11, which I don't know why I had them at 11.
Jazz are at 11 right now.
You had the Kings.
Okay. Well,
the Kings is that shocker team that I was talking about, but
currently third in the West.
Kings have been,
man.
Who saw that coming?
Light the beam.
The coach. The fact is with the Kings.
Who is their coach?
Mike Brown.
Mike Brown. Yeah.
They have a new identity. The greatest teams in all of sports are ones that have an identity. The Grizzlies are that hard nosed, crap talking team. And, so that's their identity. You've got, the Warriors, the whole strength in numbers thing, depth, three-point shooting. You got to have an identity, separate yourself from the herd. But the Kings, what a great year. Also, I had them at 10, so, I thought they'd be a little bit better than 11.
Yeah.
But who could have predicted, other than Kings fans?
You can't, man.
The third spot, hopefully they maintain that. I don't want to meet any of these teams in the playoffs.
No.
All 1 through 8 in the playoffs is going to be freaking stacked.
Whoever it is.
Whoever it
is.
The Kings, I don't want to play a young, hungry team, especially at an arena where fans haven't seen a playoff game in forever. It's going to be loud. It's going to erupt.
I'm pulling for them, man.
I'm staying away from the Kings, but
there's
not a team here I'm comfortable playing.
In
the playoffs,
absolutely not.
At least from 1 through 8, but you had the Blazers at 10, so
the Blazers at 10. Okay.
I had the Timberwolves at 9. You had the Pelicans Pelicans are probably going to be right about 9 if they don't get Zion back.
Zion needs to come back.
He's going to be out an additional 2 or 3 weeks after All-Star break.
I could see him slipping down to 10.
Which is weird because the Pelicans were 1 for quite a bit.
Yeah.
But that shows you how important Zion is. Zion goes down, and now they fell to 10. 9? Were they 10 now?
7.
7. Well,
But if he don't come back, they'll be right there at 9 or 10 for sure.
I had Timberwolves. I didn't know how I'd feel about the Rudy Gobert trade back in October. I'm like, man, I was convincing myself at one point, like, man, they could be like top 4 great, or they could be 12th. I didn't know how it was going to fit, so they're right in the middle for me at 9. Where are they currently?
The Timberwolves, 8th.
Yeah, so
about
right about there, playing team.
They're kind of they've underwhelmed a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure.
For what you traded away.
Oh, yeah.
You pushed in all your chips for a guy that's supposed to put you in contention status.
For Gobert.
Yeah, man. That's tough. But like I said, I was convincing myself. I'm like, dang. Karl-Anthony Towns, Rudy Gobert, D'Angelo Russell, Anthony Edwards. Considering they were 7th seed in the playoffs, you're just adding Rudy Gobert.
You just expect.
On paper, they look like a top 5 team, but that's just not how it works. You got to have the chemistry, and you traded away your heart in Pat Bev, man.
Yeah, poor Pat Bev, man. He's just.
Is there any specific reason you had him at the Pelicans at 9?
It
just felt right.
I kind of just felt right, but then again, I really thought that.
They were 8th.
I'm not gonna say I called.
They were 8th seed last.
I'm not gonna say
playoffs.
I called it, but you expect Zion to be hurt. I mean, I kind of did, and it was kind of like, well, if he's hurt, really, what are they?
That's true.
What are they? At?
I had the Suns at 8, which no, that's not gonna happen.
Nah.
You had the Lakers at 8.
Oh, yeah. We can kiss that goodbye.
While we're mentioning this, I had the Lakers at 7. You had the Suns at 7, so we flip-flopped our 7.
You know why we had the Suns so low, right? Because of the whole.
Oh yeah, the DeAndre Ayton stuff flying around.
Can you imagine if he was on the Pacers? That would be.
There was, and he didn't. Him and Monty Williams weren't seeing eye to eye. They were arguing. I was like, well, Chris Paul's getting old. I can see him tearing an ACL and not playing the whole year.
Yeah,
I basically convinced myself. I'm like, Suns are phony. Yeah, is what I was telling myself. But they have a great coach.
They do.
And I don't know if you've heard, but they just got Kevin Durant. And they didn't give up a ton. They gave up some good defensive pieces.
I'm going to say it right
young
now.
Guys.
They're going to win the West. I really
think.
Very
possible.
I think.
I'm not going to say that because
I know a part of you.
The Kevin Durant health is questionable for me.
Yeah.
And Chris Paul in the playoffs isn't there.
CP 0 rings, baby.
That would worry me, and their lack of defense worries me. They're going to be a fun team, though, at the bare minimum.
I was watching J.J. Redick's podcast today, and he was just throwing out stats. I don't remember off the top of my head, but they are elite in the mid-range without Kevin Durant. Now, you take Mikal Bridges out, they're still elite. You had KD, I mean, they're going to be
offensively, they're stacked. I'm just worried about
they picked up Terrence Ross a couple of days ago.
Did they?
Yeah.
I thought that. No, the Mavericks were targeting Terrence Ross.
Well, and then somebody bought him out, and then the Suns picked him up. But
did you see where LaMarcus Aldridge is taking a workout with the Mavericks?
No, I did not.
I just saw that on Twitter.
What the heck? I haven't thought about that dude in a while.
Dude, yeah, I couldn't care less.
Yeah,
I had faith in the Lakers. I put them at 7. I'm like, any team with LeBron. But by the way, they could still get there. It's gonna be tough though, really tough. They can still get to that 7th spot, but more likely 8th spot for you.
It's
man, they just I do like their trades they made.
Oh, I love them.
But is that enough? I don't know because people do not realize this isn't 2K where you can just take great players, throw them on teams. Okay, go to the playoffs. This is real life. You have to have chemistry. Players have to mesh. From the one game I did see with their trade, looked good though.
They did, and they didn't have LeBron. Throw in LeBron there. I mean,
And hopefully he stays healthy, man. I'm rooting for LeBron.
I think he's healthy right now. I think he's just load managing.
I'm rooting for LeBron until we have to play him in the playoffs. If it comes to that, then
that would be a good series.
Then I will not root for LeBron. I had the Pelicans at 6. You had the Timberwolves, which I mean,
Pelicans are.
You
7.
could have argued to me in October that the Timberwolves could be at 6. I would have completely been okay with that. I was just thinking Pelicans, like I could see them getting slightly better.
Or
staying about the same. I had them at 6, which is where they may end up. Who knows, man? I had the Clippers at 5. Mm-hmm. You had the Mavericks.
Yes. Currently it's the Suns. You had the Clippers. So the Clippers are 6th, and then it's Phoenix, and then it's Dallas. The Clippers, I believe, will stay in that 5-6 range.
I don't see them moving up.
I don't see them moving up.
They're not a regular season team.
No. And
Kawhi isn't a regular season player. That's why I had him at 5.
Potentially, though, you could have Sacramento staying the same, and Phoenix. I don't know. Dallas will be a 4-5 seed, I believe. Sacramento, and I think Phoenix is going to move up there, man. I really do. They're 3.5, 4 games back of the Grizzlies right now. So that's crazy to think.
The Grizzlies need to hang on, and so do the Kings. They need to just hang on because
I'm rooting for the Kings.
Phoenix and Dallas, they're right there, dude. Like that scares me because the last thing I want is to play the Suns or the Mavericks and not have home court advantage.
Oh man,
nah, dude, come on now.
No,
that's just. Because Kyrie and Kevin Durant, it doesn't matter if the Suns are 5th or 6th seed because they have playoff experience deep in the playoffs.
Yeah.
That would scare me. And Luka's Luka, so
love Luka, man.
The I could see why. By the way, I had Mavericks at 4.
So
we flip flopped again.
Yep,
you had Clippers at 4. I had Clippers at 5. I had Mavericks at 4. You had Mavericks at 5.
Mm.
The reason I had Clippers there. Again, not a regular season. I also thought, like, okay, maybe John Wall comes through and he just
has a comeback year, but dude.
No, okay, he's already off the team.
He is, isn't he? Yeah, yep, yeah, that's right.
He gone. Mavericks, I had them at 4. Luka is Luka. Luka's great. Probably, he's in MVP talks. So
he is.
He's having an amazing season. Mavericks at 4 is looking very, very possible right now, especially with the acquisition of Kyrie.
Sure.
However, my Suns at 8 is not going to happen. There's no way they end up at 8.
No.
The top 3, we have the same top 3 in different order.
But one of the teams is just not doing it.
I had the Warriors at 3. Was this before or after Jordan Poole got punched in the face when we made this?
This was like after.
This was after. Yeah.
That was in the summer, wasn't it? Like late summer?
Yeah, it was. Okay. So I had the Warriors at 3. You had the Grizzlies at 3.
Mm-hmm.
What's your reasoning for Grizz at 3?
Let's see. Nuggets, Warriors, Grizzlies. I think, honestly, it came down to
I think it was just like experience.
I thought it was experience, and I knew they would be up there. And I'm right because they're second in the West.
Grizzlies still could be 3. They probably will be 3.
The Warriors
at this rate.
The Warriors, I expected just so much more out of them. But Steph went down with injury.
That's true. You can't see that. You can't.
And who's to say they won't get in the play-in or get the 7th seed, whatever?
Warriors can still be 3rd. I'm telling you, it's so close right now in the West. It's close.
Nuts, man.
Every game matters.
It does. From here on out.
I had the Nuggets at 2, who the Nuggets are currently first in the West and have been for quite some time.
Your 1 and 2 were right. You had the Grizzlies. You have a little bit of home cooking.
You had
there.
the Warriors at 2, like you just said. Now, you had Nuggets at 1. I had Nuggets at 2. And if you didn't know by now, I had the Grizzlies at 1. Again, not me being a homer. I just know a young team like that that's a regular season team. Like they're going to go out and win games. They got fresh legs. They're going to play every game tough. And they're going to not every game. I can't say they've tried every single game this year, but you know what I mean though. Like they care about regular season games more than a team like the Warriors or Clippers. So that's why I had them at 1, and Ja is just on the come up. He really is. But you had Nuggets at 1. You're right about that.
And honestly, like
so far,
this will kind of get us into the next topic, whatever. But I had them at 1 because I was expecting MVP season out of Jokic, but I didn't even have Jokic as my. I mean,
well, for me, it was the return of Jamal Murray, and that has been a big deal. And Michael Porter Jr.
And that was it too. But I just knew, I just had a arc that he was gonna go off, and so far he has. I mean,
so we're gonna get to Coach of the Year real quick too. Our Coach of the Year obviously is based on who.
Do you just want to do our front runners, or do you want to do our?
I'll just mention we put 3 on every single one of these awards. We had our front runner who we really thought would get it, and then 2 of the other candidates. So for me, I had Taylor Jenkins. I thought the Grizzlies would be
Homer.
I thought the Grizzlies would be first in the West. They can still get there, but man, Taylor Jenkins, Mike Budenholzer, and Malone. So you had Budenholzer first.
I had Budenholzer, Jenkins.
You had Jenkins and Tyronn Lue.
Tyronn
Lue's a good coach, but the only thing with that is Clippers won't ever be first seed.
Yeah.
Just because they're not.
They're the Clippers, man. It's not gonna.
Coach of the year is not all that exciting. We're gonna get to MVP though. Do you want to start?
Did we have the same 3?
We did have the same. Well, no, we didn't.
You did.
I didn't. I feel stupid now for not having that guy.
Dude, mine are pretty good, except I'm missing Jokic. Mine are Luka, Embiid, and Giannis. I mean, replace.
Luka is a good pick. See, let's just say right now. First off, mine is Embiid. I thought Embiid would blow up this season. My MVP was Embiid, and then Ja, and then Giannis. At the time.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, if I had to pick, in order, it would be Jokic, Tatum, Luka.
Okay, Tatum, yeah.
Tatum is, oh my God,
Dude,
he's unbelievable.
And going into the season, I didn't think they would give Jokic, because they get bored. The voters get bored, and it's like, oh, if he got it last year.
Insane this year.
It's like, if he got it last year, I'm not going to give it to him this year. Well, this year, I don't know how you don't give him his 3rd in a row, man. Like, that's nuts. He's playing out of his mind right now.
You know what Jokic reminds me of? In a way, it's like Curry in the sense of you're watching it on the couch, and it's just infuriating. Everything he does is like, dude, how? Like, how do you –
he's so slow.
He's not pulling up from half court like Curry does, but he's still – the things he does is like
it's nuts.
You're moving 10 miles an hour, 5 miles an hour in the paint.
Generous.
Like, back, and then – behind the back passes, like it's infuriating.
It is
getting everybody involved. It's like a different kind of like magician in a way. Luka's the same way.
He is.
Where it's like that guy that just pisses you off.
Really,
when you watch him play. Stephen Curry still makes me feel that way to this day. He does some dumb stuff, but man, and Jokic, it's like he doesn't care about the media. He's just there to hoop, right?
That's why he'll never be the face of the game. Cause
like Jokic, but people have this controversy right now where they don't think he should get his 3rd in a row because that would put him in, GOAT status.
I don't see how you don't give that man his 3rd MVP in a row.
Their argument is that he hasn't taken them anywhere in the playoffs. He hasn't taken them to the finals.
Well,
so I mean,
do they? I thought it was regular season.
It is.
See, that's the problem. That's my argument. It's
the guys that have done it. I know Larry Bird has. I think Kareem, maybe Wilt. I don't remember right now. Don't make me a liar. But I know Larry Bird is one of those guys that got 3 in a row, but he backed it up. They're afraid Jokic is going to end up being a guy with 3 MVPs and not backing it up. So
right.
Let's go to Rookie of the Year.
Okay.
We had the same 3, other than the last. Okay, we didn't have the same 3. We had the top 2, but we both had Paulo, that's the number 1. I mean, that's it. That's the guy.
Yeah,
that's our Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, that's Rookie of the Year.
It's not really even close. A guy we didn't mention, a guy that I really liked in the draft, that y'all talked me out of it the day we were making it, was Benedict Mathurin. I knew it at the time. I was like, okay, maybe I'm just being silly. I won't put him in there, but yeah, he's top 3 too. We both had Ivy at 2. Again, not a bad pick, but Benedict Mathurin's in that top 3.
Yeah.
I had Keegan Murray at my third. You had Jabari Smith.
Why?
Who I'm just.
Why did I have him?
He's gonna have to grow. Like he's gonna have to grow mentally and physically. Jabari Smith. I don't know. We won't get into that right now. But, most improved player is a hard thing to guess. It's really hard. I mean, honestly, I'm okay with my picks currently.
Garland, Halliburton, and Maxey. I had
Halliburton is a very good pick for this. I think he may end up being one of the final ones to get that. Darius Garland has had a great year, but not like a most improved player.
Yeah,
type of year.
it's like a.
You had Anthony Edwards. You had Halliburton in there, and Brunson.
I think you could give it to Well, I don't know if you could give it to Halliburton now.
Can you look up predictions as of right now who most improved player would be? And I'll go over the defensive player of the year.
Yeah.
Man, I am spot on with my DPOY.
You are. Yeah.
Man, I called it too. I had Jaren Jackson Jr. Big surprise once again. But, man, I knew it. Again, I'm not a homer. I'm going to be honest with you. When the Grizzlies suck, when we need to make certain trades or this guy, whatever. But Jaren, I had the foresight, man. I knew it. Jaren's that guy. NBA block leader. Insane block numbers. Congrats to Jaren, by the way, for getting your first All-Star game. The reason he's in that All-Star game, defense. He's a great offensive talent, but it's the defense. Unbelievable.
I pulled this up. I'll let you keep going on, but I forgot they renamed all the trophies.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I still do not care about the names.
I don't either.
I want.
Keep going. Keep talking.
I had Giannis in my defensive player of the year and Embiid.
Okay.
You had Bam Adebayo, not a bad pick.
Dude can guard 1 through 5. I mean, easy.
Rudy Gobert, always a safe bet. Rudy Gobert.
Yeah.
But I just thought with the combination of Karl Anthony Towns that he may take away some of the spotlight a little bit. And you had Giannis in there. Man, you could put Giannis in MVP talks, Defensive Player of the Year talks. Giannis, you can plug and play him anywhere. Giannis is always a safe bet. Sixth man, another thing that's hard to bet on. We both had Hero as our number 1 pick.
Yeah, and that's
Jordan Poole. We both had him at number 2.
You know he's going to get it if he gets signed and comes off the bench. It's going to be
Russell
Russ.
Westbrook was supposed to. I mean, he was in contention for it. We had no idea at the time he'd be coming off the bench.
Yeah, exactly.
We couldn't have guessed that.
We're pretty spot on so far.
Tyler Hero had him at 1. You had him at 1. Poole at 2. You had Malcolm Brogdon in there at 3. I had Tyus Jones.
Tyus Jones
is an underrated pick for that, but he's never gonna get the credit he deserves.
Good, man.
Man, that wraps up our prediction list.
Yep.
Other than a couple things like the Kings and the Suns, I'm not too mad about Lakers, man. I'm not too mad about my picks. I think yours are pretty good too.
I think mine are. Yeah, I'm satisfied with them so far. I don't know, but
again, at the end of the season, we have a point system, so we're going to see who.
We'll have to make a bet or something.
Tally the most points for their predictions.
Winner gets something or something like that. But I don't know.
Do you want to get into the draft?
Let's get into the draft, man. I'm ready for it.
All right.
I got a draft pool here of all my players, so don't be cheating. No, I'm going to turn my computer to the side here.
We're doing our first weekly draft.
Yes.
This week is in honor of our first episode. Players we would most like to see win their first NBA championship.
Yes.
Current players, obviously. Charles Barkley, that would have been nice for him to get one.
Yeah.
But he's not a current player. So, current players we'd most like to see. I'm interested to see how you approach this because there's a couple ways you could do it.
Okay.
But we'll get into that. At the end of the draft, you can decide who has the best picks. We're not going to literally argue about it.
Fight over it.
But you can decide who has the best picks, and we'll just
leave
a comment.
Yeah, leave it in the comments
and let us know. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first? We're going to go snake style, by the way. So your first pick, I have 2 and 3. You have 4 and 5.
You can go first. All right, you're going to be Ja Morant. You're going to be Ja Morant.
You'd be surprised, buddy. I'm not a homer.
I'm an NBA fan. I want to tell you this.
I'm a Grizzlies fan, but I'm an NBA fan.
I'm going to tell you this. I will not pick Ja Morant. he's not on my pool because I knew you'd pick him. So out of respect,
No, who knows? By the way,
I'm not going to take.
We're doing 5 apiece, unless you want to do like.
Let's do 5. Let's do 5.
5 apiece.
Yeah, let's do 5.
Because I want to get in depth about this.
Let's do it. Just explain yourself. Explain yourself after every pick.
I'm not putting John in my top 5.
Really?
And I'll tell you why in a minute.
What?
Okay, my first pick.
Okay.
Damian Lillard.
Well, let's take him off the board.
Damian Lillard is the number 1 guy I want to see win an NBA championship currently.
In parentheses,
it's not even close for me.
In parentheses in this list, I have the reason why I would like to see it, and in parentheses, Damian Lillard just said loyalty. I mean, that's what it comes down to. The dude's the most loyal.
I love Damian Lillard. If there's anybody in the NBA currently, and actually there's a couple more that deserve. Well, they're all deserving. They're NBA players, but Damian Lillard I love him. I love Damian Lillard, and your loyalty to a franchise should be.
It should pay off.
Rewarded.
It should pay off for sure.
If he somehow got it in Portland, man, dude, I wouldn't be mad about that. I would be rooting for him. So, again, I'll tell you later on, but I approach this a little different. I'll just say it right now. I didn't pick any young guys. Because the way I see it, I'm picking guys that have a few years left, and like they're kind of like their primes are sort of out the door, and so guys like John Morant, Jason Tatum, Luka, they've got years and years, 10 years
for sure.
You know,
for sure.
Guys like Damian Lillard, the clock's ticking, Dame time, no pun intended, but
yeah, it is.
He's number 1 for me. So
my first pick will be. Dang, I should have ranked these. I got 2 though right now, so I'm gonna go ahead and take him off. So you. Who
was the second pick in the draft and your first pick?
Russell Westbrook.
Not a bad pick, man. I gotta take him off mine now too.
Russell Westbrook.
Okay, why?
Because he was an animal in OKC. You know, they had the finals. When they go to the finals, 2012 with him, Harden, KD.
Yeah. That was the last time he went.
KD leaves. You know, he
stayed. He was Damian Lillard of OKC to a degree, the loyal guy.
And now it's just like I see him kind of like struggling, and it's like, dude, if he had a championship, that would just kind of like, I don't know,
make it all better.
It would.
I'm rooting for Russ.
The dude plays now,
especially as much hate as he's gotten.
He made me mad. He don't make me anymore because he's gone, but he made me mad. You know. Missing layups and stuff, just point blank. But, dude, I really am. And I don't know if he will get his ring, which is sad to say, but that's my first pick, man.
See, now, he may not – he's probably not going to stay with the Jazz. So if he gets bought out and he ends up with the Clippers, chances are better than when he was in the Lakers.
Yeah, I ain't got the Clippers winning the ring anytime soon.
You don't want to meet them in the playoffs, though.
I don't want to meet them in the playoffs.
They got experience.
Clippers are going to be the Clippers. I mean,
who do you got at 3?
Okay.
Please don't steal my 4th pick.
I'm going to try to read your mind here. Let's go. I'm going to take him off the board. Paul George.
Okay. I like my picks better.
Okay.
I got Valerie. But I cannot argue with Paul George.
All right, here's my.
Okay.
The dude on the Pacers, him, Danny Granger, Roy Hibbert, George Hill, that was a squad, man. And got the.
It's kind of an unconventional squad. It's not a super team by any means.
And
it's just, it worked.
That team goes on to the finals and has a chance to win.
Eastern Conference Finals.
Eastern Conference Finals. But
and they got bounced by the GOAT.
That's what I was getting into. They like so many teams in the 2010s were so hot, but then they ran into LeBron. I mean,
yeah.
And
I know.
I hate to say it, but the playoff P nickname is, if he don't start doing, I mean, he's really done nothing to prove that he's, you know, how are you going to give him that name when he really hasn't done?
He does struggle a little bit in the playoffs.
I know. It's just.
It's a story that, you know, a lot of players experience. You know, they all go through that.
But yeah, I would love to see my boy win a championship.
My reasoning for that would be different.
Not on the Clippers.
Because, I mean, the way he broke his leg and returned from injury.
Yes.
That would be why I want to see him succeed. I just like Paul George. He's a likable guy.
He is.
Yeah, he's on my list. I had him at 5.
So you ranked yours.
I ranked mine in order of like where I want them out on the board. And my second pick is still here.
Okay.
You didn't take my second pick.
Just go for it.
Russell Westbrook was my third, but
okay, let's hear
my second pick is still here.
Okay, who is it?
Derrick Rose.
Oh my gosh.
You forgot about D Rose?
Yes.
I need that guy to get a chip.
Who's he? Is he on the?
He's on the Knicks.
Knicks, yes, he's still on the Knicks. Man.
So I still got D Rose.
I ain't too bummed out about that pick.
Okay, for you non-basketball fans, let me just paint the picture. Dude, okay, I'm about to get into this.
Dude was jaw before jaw.
The youngest MVP.
Yes.
Superstar talent, electrifying guy. On and off the court. Well, no, really not. He's just on the court.
Dude's like talking to that wall.
He wasn't charismatic, but
I mean,
on the court, jumping out the gym. You're right. He was like
the jaw before jaw.
Like, but then he got hurt over and over and over again,
now
bouncing back every time, but was less and less of the player he was when he was younger. And from Chicago, he played there, and they were good for a period of time. And then he just got hurt, and then he never got back to that status. And then he got traded around. He bounced around from Knicks to the Timberwolves to the Cavs. Not in that order, but just unfortunate, dude. And Russell Westbrook is getting, without the injuries, to be the same story as Derrick Rose, where teams aren't valuing him, and they're just shipping him around. But I badly want to see D Rose get a chip, dude. Bad. He deserves one.
He does. He does deserve one. He wasn't even on my list, like my player pool here.
Because he's not forgettable. You can't forget D Rose, but in the current NBA,
now he's forgettable.
In the current NBA, it's easy to forget. An older player that I would love to see get one on his way out. Just somehow.
He's kind of just like drifted into the shadows, man.
It's a story. It's an unfortunate story.
Yeah, it is.
Now at 5. For me, well, my third pick, but the 5th pick in the draft.
Okay.
Who do I want to take? I'm going to take Chris Paul.
Okay, he was on mine too.
I'm going to take Chris Paul. I really don't love Chris Paul, but he's on his way out the door. He deserves a chip. I mean, I feel like, like I said, I don't love Chris Paul. I like his game. He's a player that aggravates me when I'm playing against him. Pesky guy. Always playing tough, but I just think back to the Lob City days when we would play them, and we hated that team. But they also, if you happen to hear dogs barking, we apologize. That would be our dogs that we put in the garage for the sake of the podcast for you guys. So just tone it out.
They've been good so far.
They've been good so far, but they heard me talking about Chris Paul and like, shut the hell up. We love Chris Paul. Chris Paul.
Oh,
anyway,
man.
Okay.
There you go.
All right. So
all right, let's all right. Do I get 1 or 2 now?
Yeah, you get 2. You get the 6th and 7th pick.
So you've got 3, and then I've gotten 2 so far.
I'm about to go in the garage and punch him in the snout.
All right. Let's go. He's still technically in the league.
I know who you're taking.
Carmelo Anthony.
I didn't. I mean.
I don't know. He could never get it done on his own. Like if he's the main guy, it was never gonna work. It just wasn't never gonna work. And maybe if he would have got some better surrounding pieces, he might have. But I don't know. I would have loved to see. I would have loved to see him.
I didn't take him because he's technically not in the league. I mean, is he a free agent?
I think he's a free. He isn't retired yet.
That's a guy that I was definitely thinking about. He's not even on my list because I didn't.
And when I was making this player pool,
a great pick though. A great pick. He's someone that always comes to mind when you think of guys that haven't gotten a ring. Did you know he's 9th on the NBA all-time scoring list?
I did. That is forgettable.
People don't realize that. Who do you have at 7?
Okay, I'm kind of conflicted here between 2 people.
This is your second to last pick.
He's a younger player. Okay. Well, I say that. I'll see how old he is, but in a second. But I'm gonna take Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, I had him on my list too.
Jimmy Butler.
I had him. I'm gonna have to go in the garage real quick. And,
go for it, man.
Hit a dog. So, well, I'm going to leave you with a thought while I give you my 8th pick.
Okay.
My 4th
Let's
pick.
But okay, I did pick 2. Yeah.
Do I want to take this guy? See, there's a couple guys that I don't really like. I don't know if, I just don't like them as NBA players. So I don't really want to see them succeed. I don't want to be a hater. But there's a couple guys on this list I want to see them win. So I'm going to bypass an MVP player for a guy that I really want to see win. And I'm going to take DeMar DeRozan.
Dang it, dude. That was going to be my next pick.
I'll go ahead and tell you who I passed up on. I passed up on James Harden.
Okay.
Just because he's not very likable for me.
How many picks do you get now?
I don't sympathize with James Harden the way I do DeMar. DeMar has been through so much.
DeMar? Wait.
I had him.
How many picks do you get? That's the question I'm trying.
You get the next pick is your last pick.
Okay.
Yeah. It'll be the 9th pick.
I was gonna pick him if you got DeRozan. I'm gonna pick James Harden.
Okay.
Because I don't know.
In terms of just great players that haven't won it, sure.
DeRozan.
In terms of just people who haven't, won it, perfectly reasonable.
Yeah. So you got the last pick. Well, I'm just going to delete all these because I don't think you'll pick. All right, who's your?
I'm just going to go with my guy on 10. Do you know who?
Joe?
Nah.
No. Let me guess. Who's he play for?
Timberwolves.
Oh, Conley, man.
I'm going to take Mike.
That was Colby's first love right there.
Mike Conley was my first favorite player. Not everybody's first favorite player. Most people's favorite player is Curry or LeBron. Or by the way, we're just going to let the dogs bark. We're going to wrap up here in about 10 minutes anyway. So if you hear barking, just embrace it.
Embrace it. Hey, this will be the only episode where they're doing this. So.
And you're right. They have done good.
They have.
But since they're in the garage, they've consumed all these chemicals, so they're just going insane. They're delirious. They're probably attacking each other.
Probably.
We're gonna go in the garage.
I doubt it.
There's gonna be blood all over the walls.
Let's hope not.
So, but
okay.
Finalizing my point here,
yeah.
Mike Conley, just a guy. By some honorable mentions: Bradley Beal, Blake Griffin.
See, you know who my honorable mentions were? They're younger players. It's Jokic, Luka, and I can't remember who else I had. I just deleted it. And they still got plenty of time to do that. But I didn't even think about going the route with the older players.
Yeah, I just picked Mike Conley because that's just nostalgia for me. I want to see him win. I would love to have seen him win in a Grizzlies jersey.
I should have done that just to make you.
If that can't happen, man, just get a ring, man, on your way out.
Thought of that.
He's 35, 34.
Yes.
Ish. Man, time's running out. God, I don't want to see the Timberwolves get a ring. No. Because that would mean Rudy Gobert gets a ring. But, Mike, if you want to go to, you want to go to the Mavericks or the Suns and be a backup point guard? Or actually, when Chris Paul's on the way out, fill in for Chris Paul, click up with Devin Booker,
get you some bling.
KD. Get a ring, bro. Chase that thing. Just don't play the Grizzlies in the playoffs because I don't have to root against you.
Oh, man.
Any final points, man, you want to hit on here? A couple things I want to mention.
What about the All-Star break this
yeah. Next week, we're going to hit on All-Star break.
Recap and stuff like that.
We are recording this on Monday night.
The 13th of February.
February 13th. I'm trying to have this podcast uploaded every Tuesday after. So tomorrow or today, whenever you're listening, will be February 14th.
Yes.
That's the plan. I'm going to have to try to figure out the best system to do this. But
and you'll upload it to we'll put it out on not put the video out on Instagram, but we'll let people know that it's out. And
the video will be on YouTube. The audio, the
Spotify.
podcast will be on Spotify.
Yeah, that'll be good.
And the dogs will be at the pound.
The dogs will not be making a return. There will just be one dog in the coming episodes. So
the dogs,
our apologies.
No, sir. But we really hope y'all enjoyed the episode.
Man, it was fun.
We got a lot of things to look forward to. This is just the beginning.
It is, man.
If this was a boring episode, man, hopefully it wasn't.
I don't think it was.
But I hope you enjoyed it. We have a lot of great things planned in the bag. Interviews and such. Those are things I'm looking forward to. And we can just get more into the nitty-gritty of NBA topics, information,
maybe
in depth.
some college.
Yeah.
College content. coming up.
Ryan's gonna lead the college stuff.
I'll be the college insider here in between hoops.
But we can't be here for 2 hours.
No,
unfortunately.
no, and we could very much
very easily.
Yeah, but
we're already over an hour here, and we've been talking our heads off. So, I mean, it was just a great episode to get to know us a little bit, I think. But in coming episodes, it's more so about NBA news, Grizzlies news. You're going to get some Tar Heel stuff off your chest every now and then.
Oh, my gosh.
And I'll let you kind of lead the way on the college.
Okay. I'm excited for it, man. I had fun.
So, as far as All-Star goes, the events start on Friday. That's when they start the celebrity games and stuff like that. Saturday, if you care for it, the dunk contest, three-point contest, skills challenge. Right. Sunday, the game. By the way, your boy John Moran is starting because Stephen Curry's hurt. So, something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Catch the All-Star game. We'll be here next week. We're going to be here every week. The days fluctuate, but be on the lookout for a podcast. Check out the Instagram page @BetweenHoops for updates. Subscribe to Colby Wood Between Hoops on YouTube. Until next time, Colby Wood out.
Ryan McGaughey. Peace.
Thank y'all for listening.